Friends, how certain are you that the first video you watched today, or that shocking image that popped up on your Twitter feed, is actually real? Maybe you saw the Pope in a massive white puffer jacket and thought, damn, he's got style. Or maybe you stumbled upon a video of your favorite politician saying something they never actually uttered. We are right in the middle of a strange era where reality has become an option, and truth has been tucked away on dusty shelves as a nostalgic concept. Welcome, this is Blue Glass, and today we're going to talk about how to survive in this misty forest called post-truth without losing our minds. First, let's clarify this term. Post-truth doesn't just mean lying. Lying has a certain dignity to it. A lie knows what the truth is but chooses to hide it. In a post-truth world, however, the truth simply doesn't matter. What matters is how much that information tickles your emotions, triggers your anger, or makes you say, see, I knew I was right. When the Oxford Dictionary chose this as the word of the year in 2016, they were actually holding a funeral, the funeral of objective truth. It's no longer facts that rule, it's perceptions. So, how did we end up surrendering to nonsense like lemon water cures cancer floating around in WhatsApp groups after thousands of years of scientific progress? Scientifically speaking, don't look too far for the culprit. It's hidden right here, in that piece of meat behind your eyebrows, your brain. Our brains didn't evolve to find the truth. They evolved for survival. In the evolutionary process, we didn't have time to write a scientific paper on whether that sound behind the bushes was truly a lion or just the wind. Those who got suspicious and ran survived. That's why our brains love shortcuts. We call these cognitive biases. For instance, confirmation bias is a total nightmare. When we see something that supports our view, our brain releases dopamine and says, that's it. But when we see something that contradicts our view, our brain reacts as if it's experiencing physical pain. In other words, post-truth is essentially a design flaw in our brains, and technology has monetized this flaw. Algorithms know us better than we know ourselves. They know what time you get angry, what kind of headlines you click on, and which colors keep you glued to the screen. The result? Echo chambers. Everyone is locked in digital cells where their own truths are shouted back at them, and the other side is portrayed as stupid or evil. In the physical world, when you bump into something, it hurts, and you know it's real. But in the digital world, we don't bump into anything. The algorithm pads all the corners with foam for us. Everything is exactly as we want to see it. After a while, this leads to what we call epistemic nihilism. Everything is a lie anyway. Nothing can be trusted. That's exactly when the alarm bells start ringing. The loss of truth isn't just a philosophical debate. It is a direct mental health crisis. The human mind seeks solid ground to stand on. If you live in a constant state of high alert in a world where everything could be fake, where videos are AI-generated and news is manipulated, we call that chronic anxiety in medical terms. A person whose perception of reality is distorted feels like they are walking on the edge of a cliff. Eventually, the mind can't handle the load and gives up. Fine, no matter what anyone says, I'll only believe my own tribe. This is a defense mechanism, but it's also an intellectual death. Let's dive into some philosophy. Jean Baudrillard, in his book Simulacra and Simulation, was describing today perfectly. He argues that reality has fallen behind its own representation. The image of a thing is now more real than the thing itself. For example, when you go to a restaurant, the way the food looks on Instagram becomes the reality rather than how it actually tastes. If it tastes bad but looks amazing, that meal is a success. Our entire lives are now filled with these simulations. In a post-truth world, we don't love the truth itself. We love the caricatures of truth that look like us. So, how do we protect our mental health in this asylum? I won't tell you to drop your phone and move to the woods, because I know you won't do it, and neither will I. But we can make a few strategic moves. First, epistemic humility. Being able to say, I might be wrong, and my brain might be tricking me. If a news story makes you incredibly happy or causes a massive outburst of anger, know that it's appealing to your primal brain, not your rational mind. Stop right there. That 10-second pause is the greatest act of resistance in a post-truth world. Second, digital hygiene. Just as you watch what you eat, you must watch the data entering your mind. Only following people who think like you is making your brain obese. Being able to say, I don't agree with this person at all, but let me see what they're saying, strengthens your mental muscles. Surprise the algorithm. Go research a topic you have no interest in. Read a completely different worldview. Let those ad bots crash trying to figure out what to suggest to you. Third and hardest, learning to live with uncertainty. Modern humans want answers immediately, but the real world is full of gray areas. Saying, I don't know, is one of the most revolutionary acts you can perform today. You might not have enough data on a subject yet, and that doesn't make you a flawed person. It just makes you an honest one. Friends, at Blue Glass, we always talk about the future. The future will be a place where AI can mimic reality in seconds. Deepfake videos will reach a point where you won't even be able to believe what you see with your own eyes. In such a world, truth cannot be a treasure found outside. It must be a compass protected within. Combining scientific skepticism with philosophical depth is no longer a hobby. It's a survival skill. And let's not forget humor. Sometimes you just have to laugh at this series of absurdities. Because absurdity is the greatest enemy of post-truth. Against those info warriors who take everything too seriously and impose their absolute truths, your greatest weapon is a bit of irony and that slightly mocking smile that says, really? As I wrap up, I want to leave you with this question. If technology one day offers you a perfect digital heaven where every lie you want is presented as real, where you're never sad and never wrong, would you choose to live in that sweet lie or the naked, cold world that is real? Even if it hurts and keeps you awake at night, reality hurts sometimes, but at least you feel there is ground beneath your feet. By the way, are you still sure that what you're standing on is actually ground? See you in the next episode in the other layers of the simulation. Take care of yourselves and especially your mental health. If you like this video, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. See you later.